Okay, so we've won the World Series, but the job's not done yet. I mean, we got to go back to back. We have the talent on this team, and we just got to put together some more pieces, and I think we can be in a very good spot to create a dynasty here in our nation's capital. So winning postseason MVP, it's a pretty obvious pick, Will Smith. World Series MVP goes to Mookie Betts, and I'll be honest with you, if Mookie Betts did not have that good of a World Series, especially the ending to his World Series, he was going to get traded. But now I think it's different, and I'm going to let Mookie play out this season. We'll see what happens. I'll let him play at second base. Of course, he's under contract for another 4 years after this, but we'll see what happens. And, you know, there's moves to be made, man. There's moves to be made. Obviously, we have the shortstop situation with O'Neal Cruz and Brady House. One of those two have probably got to go, and I think you know who it's probably going to be, but we'll go over the stats first before we get into the actual offseason. John Means was our ace, and folks, if you haven't yet, make sure that subscribe button down below for some more MLB22 The Show here on the channel. Overall-wise, Edward Cabrera is our second starter. He's solid, man. He keeps on getting better. ERA at 4.14, looking for another improvement next season. And then Josiah Gray, the New Rochelle High School product. He's always hovering around that 4.5-ish ERA. He's a solid guy. Jacob deGrom, stats-wise, he wasn't horrible. Obviously, he's not the Jacob deGrom he once was. The contract gets tricky. We might look to move him, and like what the Nationals are trying to do in real life, which I hope they don't do, Soto and Corbin for, you know, a prospect or whatever, multiple prospects. I hope they don't do that in real life. But I think if we could attach maybe a Kate Cavalli or a Brady House or even an Eric Guevara in a trade with Jacob deGrom, some team will be, or even Brian Smith, the team will be more willing to take on the contract of Jacob deGrom if we do attach a high-level prospect or a high-level player to his deal. So we'll see what we do with deGrom, but he's definitely on the trade block because I want to have at least some cap room to play around with in free agency. Our relievers are pretty solid. I mean, of course, you're talking about Hicks, Cabrera, and Tone. Most of these guys are sticking around the team. I think they did a very good job. Even Johan Duran, I think, did a very good job for us this season as well. Matt Cronin wasn't great. He's back in AAA. Yeah, the ERA 5.32 wasn't great for the lefty this season. And then Josh Hader was decent. He's kind of just produced the same stats from going to the Brewers, the Yankees, the Nationals, or at least his late Brewers days. And then Camilo Doval was an all-star this season. He was pretty solid as well. You got Luis Molina, by the way, an A potential closer coming up, and Carlton Chang. Anyway, Will Smith was great in the postseason. Regular season was just mid 250, but we got him obviously in the middle of the season with that trade with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Keibert Ruiz was involved. I like what we're getting out of Will Smith. Really happy with him. And even Jamie Cordova, too. I mean, the Nicaraguan backup catcher for us is only 21 years old at 73 overall. He did a very solid job. And then you got Vladdy Jr., who just signed the massive contract with us in the offseason last year. At 255. I mean, he wasn't great in the World Series, but he's a World Series champ. CJ Cron was just okay. I mean, he played Game 5 of the World Series. Kyle Saul is here as well. A potential. He's one of the top prospects in the game. He's got really good contact against left-handed pitching. So that does it really for the first baseman. You look at the second baseman, again, Mookie Betts. I've kind of guaranteed that he's going to be back on the team next season. Batted 262. We'll see what he does in the regular season next year. Juan Bay we got from the Pittsburgh Pirates in that O'Neal Cruz trade. He's just basically our pinch runner. Darren Baker's got deep potential, which is ridiculous. Austin Martin, only 3 years played so far in the major leagues, and he keeps on, you know, doing pretty well. Batting around 265 every season. Like what we get out of him. Cody Hosey's just nothing but a bench bat. At short, O'Neal Cruz, we got him one more year in arbitration. I do believe he's had 258 for the last 2 years, 32 home runs, and that's the big part of O'Neal Cruz's game. It's the power numbers, and really that's how our entire team plays. We go for the long ball all the time. And Brady House has just been so mid. He's only 22 years old, which is crazy. But I think if there's ever a time to trade him, it's right now. A potential 88 overall, the former #1 prospect in the game. We'll see what we can get in return for Brady House. Franmil Reyes, saw some comments, you know, talking about maybe getting rid of him. He's still batting 275 every year. He gives us 42 home runs. The year he had 26 home runs, he got hurt at the All-Star break. The guy's really good. Christian Vaquero, I think. We'll see what our roster is looking like. I do want to get him, though, into the Major League system. We'll see what happens. Didn't really play much this season. He was on our bench basically throughout the entire postseason. He was on the active 26. Look at the center fielders. Eric Guevara, the Puerto Rican god, just bats a mediocre 260, which isn't bad. The guy's only 20 years old. He's an all-star this season. He's phenomenal in the field. I think he's going to keep on getting better. He's going to be a really good ball player. Excited for the future for Eric Guevara. And that's what you got to realize with a lot of these guys. They're so young. And then we look at a guy like Elijah Green. Now, this was originally Claude Dixon. Now, if you watch the Rochester Report, you know we had him in our AAA system. I basically just changed him to be Elijah Green. So basically with Dixon, he had really good contact, really bad power, or just mediocre power. I just flipped those stats basically with him and Elijah Green. So Green's now obviously with the Nationals. In real life, too, they picked him in the first round. I mean, this is about the time he'd be making a major league impact, so he's now on the team. We'll see him. He'll be in AAA to start the season. Juan Soto went 6 for 60 in the playoffs, which is just horrible. But yeah, we'll see what we get out of Juan Soto. I mean, I'm going to look at trades maybe, not in this video. I'm going to make up my mind, and obviously I'm going to see your guys' input and all that, because I saw a lot of compelling arguments either way with the Juan Soto situation. I can see it both ways, but I won't make really a decision until the All-Star break or until the trade deadline. So we look at free agency. Again, we don't have too much money to spend, if we're being honest, so we can't really be big spenders this year in free agency, because the last 2 seasons we've been huge spenders, getting guys like Jacob deGrom and Vladimir Guerrero. So this year, kind of have to take a step back. Again, we are the reigning champs, but you look at our guys, our former guys in Chris Flexen and Kevin Gausman, still doing their damn thing at like around an 82 overall. You look at the pitching rotation and our budget actually first. Again, yeah, big spenders. Jacob deGrom still making 32. Mookie's making 30 for another 5 years. Soto's making a lot of money. Vlad's making a lot of money. Cabrera's even making a lot of money. Both Cabreras. Actually, Edwards really not. Genesis is. Even Jordan Hicks is making some money too. So we're going to try to get some of these contracts off the books. Don't know how many we can get off the books, but this is a guy I do want to get. Garrett Crochet. Now, the ERA was 5.31 for him last season, and he really hasn't had a good season since 2023. But I think Crochet could be useful at the bullpen. The White Sox have continued to try to use him as their closer and as their lead guy at their bullpen. We're not going to do that. He's going to be maybe our second lefty behind Genesis Cabrera, or third lefty behind Cabrera and Hader. I think he could do a solid job just being there and just contribute to the team and not being always in a huge impact situation. And also, I'm going to try to get Trevor Rogers just because, you know, sidearm. Anyways, this is one of the trades. Trying to get CJ Cron's contract off the books. I don't know why the Orioles would do this, but hey, Clay Stanley, he's a potential catcher. Thanks, Baltimore. CJ Cron over to the O's. And his replacement, Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt's old, he's 71 overall. Still, though, if we signed him, he would be the backup first baseman to Vlad Jr., and he would just get a little bit of playing time, maybe some work at DH, but likely just a bench bat who is a slightly, toned down version of CJ Cron, both those guys' points of their career right now. Cody Bellinger, by the way, going to sign it with the St. Louis Cardinals. We will get Tyler Rogers. Did I call him Trevor earlier? Whoops. Tyler Rogers is now on the team. Tony Gonsolin is going to go to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He had a sub-1 ERA last season, so good for him. Adalberto Mondesi going to go to the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox still have a pretty solid team. We saw them in the World Series a couple years ago. Next up, we'll have Casey Mize going to the other Chicago squad. He'll be playing in Wrigley for the Cubs, so Mize no longer on the Tigers. We'll see what he does in Chicago. Tyler Stevenson going to be the new catcher for the Mariners in the Pacific Northwest. Nathaniel Lau going to Minnesota to play for the Minnesota Twins. And there, of course, it's official. Garrett Crochet, he's still only 27 years old. He's 90 overall. Again, his stats aren't great on paper, but I think he can make an impact. Jazz Chisholm going to the Chicago Cubs. Okay, him and Casey Mize teaming up in Chicago. Jazz still very young. Jose Suarez going to be one of the better relievers in this free agency class. He'll be going to Oakland to play for the A's. Tyreek Skubal going to our rivals over there in Los Angeles. Skubal will seem to fit in with this Dodgers rotation, probably be one of the upper guys they do have. Garrett Whitlock will now replace Garrett Crochet in Chicago as their new closing pitcher. Kind of an upgrade for them, honestly. And Jesse Winker is going to be added to the New York Yankees for Michael King and a couple prospects. Not even prospects, just MLB guys. Yeah, the rich get richer. So Winker is now going to the Yankees. Ian Anderson will be going to our NL East rivals in the New York Mets. So a big move for them. And Candelario is now going to the Pittsburgh Pirates at 305 last season. Brandon Woodruff and Nomar Mazara have gone from the Angels to the Rockies, as Brendan Rodgers is going to be sent in return to play for the Angels. And Randy Arozarena is one of the big, free agent pickups potentially in this offseason. He is going to the Brewers, and Aristides Aquino is going to be traded to the Pirates. I think they kind of just scammed the Dodgers right there, but we'll see. Time will only tell. JP Crawford being moved for Oscar Mercado. So two NL Central teams making a trade right there. Crawford going to Cincinnati. Brian Hayes has been signed to the Texas Rangers, leaving the Pittsburgh Pirates for the first time in his career. And Huascar Yanoa is going to the Baltimore Orioles. Solid pickup for them. He gets $53.2 million from the O's. Jake Cronenworth has been traded from the Tigers to the Giants for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Sam Bachman. Okay, and then the Giants go out and get the switch-hitting right fielder by the name of Dylan Carlson. Huge pickup for them. He's a 91 overall. He'll play well there in the Bay Area. And Eduardo Rodriguez going to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Wow, another big move for Pittsburgh, as Emmanuel Clase will be the new closing pitcher for another NL East rival of the Nationals in the Miami Marlins at a 2.22 ERA last year. And James Karinchak will be added to the bullpen now of the Boston Red Sox as well. Looking at some more moves, Randy Dobnak, 32 years old, will be signed by the Cleveland Guardians. ERA of 3.99 last season for him. And Akil Baddoo, the Tigers are just getting dismantled in this offseason, man. They had a lot of free agents. Baddoo is now going to Oakland to play for the A's. And Robbie Ray goes back to Arizona. A 35-year-old Robbie Ray is going back to play for the Diamondbacks. Interesting part of his career. And now Patrick Sandoval, the former Los Angeles Angel, is going to the Atlanta Braves. The NL East just keeps on getting better and better. And then here's a trade. Jorge Alcala is being traded to the Chicago Cubs. Okay, he'll join the bullpen. And wow, there you have it. Ronald Acuna has left the Braves. He's going to the Blue Jays. He has received the contract the Blue Jays did not offer Vladimir Guerrero. He's out of the division. Thank goodness. Andrew Vaughn, by the way, going to the Seattle Mariners. He'll probably play in the outfield for them. He's really good at only 28 years of age. And they're also going to add Nick Madrigal as well. So Madrigal and Vaughn going on over to the Pacific Northwest. Jonathan India will now join Ronald Acuna in Toronto. So he'll be playing up there in Canada. And Sam Hilliard has been added to the Atlanta Braves. He is the Acuna replacement. And Nolan Arenado, who's been struggling recently, gets a one-year deal from the Tampa Bay Rays to go team up with Shohei Ohtani. And Dansby Swanson is now playing for the Athletics over there in Oakland. Rougned Odor will join Bryce Harper, Javier Baez, and more in Philadelphia. Okay, he's kind of washed. And here's your first big trade, guys. Brady House and Jacob deGrom for Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty, overall-wise, is the best pitcher in the MLB that we can acquire. Like, there's Julio Urias and Shohei Ohtani, but those guys we can't financially get in a trade. This is the only one that makes sense and that actually works. Jack Flaherty's had like a sub-2 ERA the last 5 seasons. It makes sense. So we will make that move with the Padres. House and deGrom are now in San Diego, and Jack Flaherty is your new ace of the Washington Nationals. Again, we did the trade that we thought we could pull off, attach that big deGrom contract with a young player like Brady House with all that potential to turn into an ace or a high overall player. That's Jack Flaherty, and it worked. Here's our second trade. Cade Cavalli's 27 years old. I don't think there's going to be much improvement. We're going to trade a 44-year-old Darren O'Day, who I forgot we had, and Omar Spanos for Nestor Cortez. Now, Cortez isn't as good in this game as he is in real life, but still an 81 overall. I'll take it. Cortez will probably be our 5th starter in our rotation, but he's still better than Cavalli. And honestly, I don't know if Cavalli's ever going to get to the point where Cortez is at right now. That's why I felt good about doing that deal. Cortez joins the rotation of Flaherty, Means, Cabrera, and Gray. And now I really like our starting 5 here in our pitching rotation. Just real quick, Elijah Green's the number 1 prospect. And no, I did not edit this to make it that way. The number 1 prospect was already Claude Dixon. So that's just Dixon repackaged into Elijah Green. And we also have 2 other top 10 prospects in Kyle Saul and Bryant Smith. So there's that. Luis Molina's like in the top 36. And then we got Brooks Parker, who's 47 in the rankings, and he just looks like Murray from Stranger Things. So, I mean, he's there. He's a closing pitcher. Anyway, this is going to be our starting lineup for the season. It'll be Bet, Soto, Guerrero, Reyes, Smith, Cruz, Martin, Vaquero, Guevara. Obviously, Vaquero now playing with us, getting rid of Brady House, and Andy Pajes is now officially moved to the bench. Look at the rest of the teams in the NL East. The Braves are, I mean, they got Bichette now, but no Acuna. And the starting pitching's really bad. I mean, Sandoval's their ace, Freddie Peralta, Kyle Muller, The Marlins just okay, no Jazz Chisholm anymore, but they're still solid. I just don't think they're as good as Atlanta is. Their pitching obviously still carries. I mean, Rogers, Alcantara, Sixto Sanchez, Yuri Perez, Ty Madden. That's a really good starting 5 at their rotation. The Mets are okay. They're still kind of the same team, honestly. The pitching is Shane Bieber now and Ian Anderson, the new addition. The pitching's going to be nice. I'll give them that. I think New York's going to be a really good pitching team. And then the last squad you got, of course, is the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, they got the talent. Can they put it together? Probably not. So, folks, that'll do it for the offseason. We'll be back tomorrow for opening day. Let me know what you think about the Soto situation. Make sure that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Give a like saying up for watching. And Mamba, forever.